Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Tuesday, the 5th of October 2021. So stock slide, Amazon erases 2021 gains as yield spikes on oil-driven break-evens surge. I'm not quite sure what the break-even surge is. I've not actually seen that. I might do some research on that. But as the subhead says, not a good start to the month of October. Absolutely. What else have we got? Futures slide on Evergrande, stagflation, energy crisis fears. Like I said, it's going to all be about energy, isn't it, this winter? It's not going to be about COVID and lockdowns. It's going to be about inflation, hyperinflation, energy prices, food shortages, gas shortages, etc. The global chip and energy shortage is getting worse. The inflation is rising. The recovery may be slowing, and that puts central banks between a rock and a hard place. Yes, they're going to have to raise at some point. Fed prepares to launch review of central bank digital currency. That could render cash and privacy obsolete. That's where we're heading with all of this. I've told you before, I told you this 20 months ago, that's the agenda by the World Economic Forum is to have a cryptocurrency so that you can be controlled. The vaccination passports are the start of it. They're idiotic and make no sense whatsoever. And I'll just say this about that and leave it alone. If somebody can tell me the logic in having a health passport when I could have something really contagious like hepatitis B, but because I've had 2 jabs, I'm allowed into a nightclub. It's just bonkers and bizarre. It just doesn't make any sense. But this is the reason it's getting people used to control, showing their papers, as it were. And the ultimate is to have a cryptocurrency, a digital currency, where people will everything they spend, every move they make, it'll track you where you go as well. It won't just be about what you spend. It'll be wherever you go. So if you're caught speeding, then the fines will be taken automatically. It's the thin end of the totalitarian ice wedge. That's what it is. So yeah, interesting times to say the least. And also, when everything else fails, they take you to war. Taiwan informs Australia is preparing for war as China sends record 52 PLA jet towards the island. If China is going to launch war against Taiwan, we will fight to the end, warns Taiwan's Foreign Minister Joseph Wu. See, mentioned that a few weeks ago. When all else fails and the system starts falling apart, they take you to war. Tuesday news. That's better. Tuesday, ISM PMI is the main one, I suppose, as far as economic data. The criminals out at 4 p.m. That's Lagarde, and 6:15 p.m. we've got Qual speaking. So quite a light news day up till 3 p.m. for today. Let's have a look at the Dow for yesterday. And we can see that it went south in the afternoon. We'll look at that in just a moment. We've got some demand for yesterday, narrower bar than the previous day's bar, also an inside bar, and overnight you can see prices finding some support there. So what we want to look at here is actually this high, this one here. Let me just highlight it first, and this low, just to see if there is any support coming back on the upside. So because that's actually showing there that there's a sort of a fractal or a point that's above the previous. So we'll go from this high. If I can actually get this to work, it's purely operator error. Just click above and then down to there, and that gives you the fibs back on the upside. So we'll leave those in there. We've already got this one from yesterday when we drew it in. Oh, typical, isn't it? Let me just redraw that. So there we go. Now we're all set up. So they're the fibs for any potential move to the upside in the Dow in the bigger time frame. If we look at yesterday, you'll see that everything was going fine, and then the Dow sold off. It was a great 100-point move yesterday afternoon before the Dow found support, came back, did a double bottom, and then has moved higher overnight. Needs to get back above the DP and the 200 MA in the 30-minute to have any chance of getting anywhere near yesterday's high. Meanwhile, in the Dax, not too dissimilar. We certainly have got the buying pressure there as well, and the demand coming into the market. This at the 15,019. I'll show you that in more detail in just a moment, what happened and how I use that. to take profits. So the upside targets are still the same for the DAX. Any break below, I'll just grab this just to tidy up the numbers a bit. Any sort of break below this low of Friday is going to be important. Also, this, I suppose, really they've established the 15,019 area now as well. But let's just put in this one as a new one and just drag that across. Actually, it's not that one that I want. Let me just remove that, put that in the wrong place. It's the low of this bar here. Gosh blimey, I can't function this morning. Let me just, there we go. So 14,980 is, so 15, make it 15,000. Think of the psychological level of 15,000. If it breaks this, then we go down to these lower levels that we've got down here. We've got the 89% retracement, which is which again is not far off another psychological level of 950, 943, and then down to another psychological level of 14,800. So that would be the downside. The moment the market is showing support to try and bounce back, but not closing above the 20 bar moving average. In fact, I just need to reset this because I didn't realize this is actually set on 5. Let me just change this to 20 and then click apply. There we go. So it's red all the way. That looks better. So there we go. So the market's struggling to close back above the 20 bar moving average in the DAX, and the same for the Dow as well. So that's where we are with that. In the 30-minute chart, you can see that we had the sell-off with the Dow yesterday afternoon. This breaking the double bottom in the evening, and then coming back overnight. So no rescue from the plunge protection team last night for the Dow or the DAX. In the metals, let's have a quick look at this. Silver under pressure overnight because they're bringing the dollar back, which you can see there at the moment. The dollar bouncing back. If it takes out the 89% retracement in here, which it's just about to get to, and the 200 MA, then we go to yesterday's high for the dollar. So that's why silver is under pressure there at the moment. Not as it would be normally, I have to say. I mean, it's tried to bounce back here in the 5-minute in the last 25 minutes or so. Have a look at the 30-minute of this. It was attempting to bounce back, and if you have a look from here to here, the 22.30 level is going to be key there. If we take out yesterday's low, then we're back to where we were this time last week when they were slamming the price down, and we'll be going back down to the $22 per ounce level, which would quite happily, which could quite happen very quickly in this market during the morning. If it's weak on the overnight, it generally goes down for the rest of the day, doesn't it? So we'll see. Gold also reversing off yesterday. Close above the 20 bar. It's not holding, so again, we're likely to retest down to the 89% on gold if the dollar can maintain its move to the upside. There is no news to really move it to the upside, but that doesn't mean to say it won't be forced after having had a sell-off. If you look at the daily charts for the last 3 days, it's now got a bounce coming back. So again, I would be looking for the market to stop at the 89 at 94.38, which will take silver down to the $22 area with great ease at 130 if they wish to do so. So a quick look at yesterday's trades before I finish off. Yesterday morning my computer crashed, so I didn't get the morning session. We had a sell and a buy, both profitable. And if we go to the DAX chart, 2 minute, I'll just look at these in a bit more detail for you. So we had the short, and this was at 15,100, just below. The market moving down. This was a 47-point trade at the 78.89 level if profits were taken there, and 24 points, I think, if I'm correct, from there to where the market closed back. Yeah, 23.45. And then this was followed by a potential buy signal. And again, if the close below the first 5 bar moving average was right, just get this to, let me just delete that. It's attaching itself to there. As it closed back below the 5-bar moving average here, was 40 points there as well. So it was a good morning yesterday, and then the market traded sideways, and now I can take over and show you how I use the 15,019 level in the afternoon. So let's push on through here. We had a losing trade to start with. The market couldn't make its mind up. You'll see the order filled in a minute. We had a potential sell, not filled, buy, not filled. Then they filled the downside, but immediately they started to buy back, and you can see the volume just coming into this one, and decided to get out. The Dow was on a bit of a rally in the first part of the session. This moved the market up, and then you can see this price bar here, how the volume is the biggest bar for the afternoon, or this part of the afternoon session. And then we ended up with again, this is fascinating here, because you've got 3 bars here, and they're trying to move the market higher, and yet it's making, as you'll see here, lower lows. So there's definitely some selling around in these bars. They're doing the best to try and bring it back. We then get the sell signal, so second time round. Again, they're attempting to try and bring this back, but as I was looking at the Dow chart, it just all of a sudden fell out of bed. So it was a case of hang in there as the Dow sold off, which we looked at earlier. And then I was just drawing in the fibs. I was looking back at the chart because I was running out of areas to actually try and find some sort of support. We'd already broken 89 from here to here, projected down. So we've gone through that area, and then I started to look at the daily chart. They're the new fibs that I drew in. We got a bit of buying coming in there. And then here, if I can just pull this back, see if I can show you when I was looking at the daily chart. There we go, there's the daily. Right, so I was looking at the daily chart at the 15,019 was going to be the next area to the downside. So just fast forwarding, what I did was mark it up on the chart, and you can see me now just picking the colour off of the line, and then drew that onto the chart, marked it up in place, and then waited for the market to trade down to it. If it was going to, of course, which it did. Now watch the volume in these next 2 price bars. So you've got this huge volume and narrow price bar there. Again, this is now the biggest volume bar for the afternoon, and tiny. So we know that they must be trying to buy in at this point, or they're taking profits as the market moves lower. It's just one or the other. We go to the 15,019, and now the volume is even greater in this bar, but the range is also greater as well. So what they did was move the market. They picked up all of the orders that were sitting around this level, those that are aware of the 15,019, and then decided to bring the market back, which they did there. So it was a great trade in the afternoon. It worked out around, well, it just worked out just over 100 points on the trade there, and then they started to bring the market back, and then they retraced. Whoops, I'll just bring that back. So they retraced the market up 78%. The market stopped there. Then they brought it back down to 89. The market drifted sideways, and then just find that point for you. And then it just traded sideways, which you can see there, just went into a sideways range. And then overnight, we've seen the market move lower and then move its way back to the upside there. Okay, that will do it for this one. If there is anything else to mention or anything major happens during the day, then I will let you know. But as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.